Hello and welcome to Global Connections, where we connect our students to media and communication professionals across the globe. It is our Week of Excellence 2025 edition, and this year we're turning the spotlight on the Caribbean.
Yes, that is right. We are streaming live from the studios of Northern Caribbean University here in Mandeville, Jamaica. Now it is day 3 of our Week of Excellence, which is hosted every year by the Department of Communication Studies here at NCU. Now, we kicked off our week with our church service on Saturday, and if you missed it, I'm telling you that you missed out. Yesterday we had our community convo, and today, of course, it is Global Connections.
Each year, we trot across the globe virtually to meet up with past students of the department, to connect with them and find out how they have used their media and communication talent to impact the world around them. As we said earlier, it is Global Connections with a Caribbean Spotlight. I'm your host, Akio Vassell.
And I'm Zavana James, and we'll be right back after this short break.
We're almost there! Week of Excellence 2025 from April 5 to 9 and 13 is bound to leave you feeling full and satisfied. April 5 is an all-day affair. We begin with our church service where MICAL, yes, Michael Forsyth from The Drive on NCU FM, will leave a word for your soul. Then, it's all about letting our hair down at our social. We will then move towards expanding our borders with Community Convo with a town hall meeting on April 6 at 3 p.m. at the Albion Primary School as experts tackle neurodivergence from stigma to strength, break the stigma and change the narrative. For Global Connections, we touch base with the Caribbean as we talk to DCS graduates who've been using their skills to serve in different capacities. At Showcase My DCS, come watch DCS students embark on different challenges geared at showcasing our skills and talents. Then, it's Symposium and Affirmation Day. For our symposium, the breakout sessions will see Audrey Williams from the JPS for Public Relations and Kalila Reynolds from Money Media Limited for journalism. For TV, it will be the Social House creator Tara Playfair Scott, and for radio, Vaughn Davis from the JIS. So yes, hear from esteemed professionals, then come celebrate and affirm our own. And to close out the week, on Sunday, April 13, it's our Lignum Vitae Film Showcase at the NCU Gymnatorium. It's an event where we see some amazing work from university students on show. Don't miss it! Week of Excellence 2025, April 5 to 9 and 13. Sponsored by Manchester Cooperative Union, Independence Pharmacy, Bright Diamond Funeral Services, Mandeville Spa and Wellness Resort, Midland Cesspool Services, Three Angels Pharmacy, Manchester Cesspool Services, SKD Shipping, and more.
Them can't pass you without consent. Come out and be proud 'cause we magnificent. All of DCS full up at talent.
It is Week of Excellence 2025 here in the Department of Communication Studies at NCU, and today we are traveling across the Caribbean.
Yes, Akil, but you know what? It is the first time that Global Connections has turned its attention to the region. And so today we have 4. Yes, you heard me correct. Not 2, not 3, but 4 exciting guests. Now, they're all past students. But what is interesting about that is that they're not all working in media right now. However, they are making good use of their media skills in different fields.
Our first guest is Jamaica's very own Jason Sawyer. Sawyers is a seasoned media professional who has served the industry for 13 whole years. He works at a very popular sporting entity, SportsMax Limited, where he serves as an EVS operator and a video editor. Throughout his illustrious career, he's had the privilege of covering numerous high-profile events. He's attended and covered 4 NBA All-Star games and in various cities across the United States. He's covered 2 Olympic Games first Tokyo 2020 and then Paris 2024. I'm sure he'll tell us a little about that during our talk today. And he also covered the ICC T20 World Cup, solidifying his presence at major international sporting events. With a deep passion for his craft, Mr. Sawyer is driven by a desire to produce exceptional content that engages and inspires audiences. He also remains committed to giving back to his community as he... So, Mr. Beans, I have a question for you regarding your journey in the 13 years that you've been a part of media and communications. You've done so much: Tokyo, Paris, NBA All-Star Games across America. What do you feel as if the next step would be in your career?
Well, the next step. Well, the next step for me is really how much I can now give to, I don't want to say a young one like you, ones like you coming up, but just share everything that I've been through, because that is the only way we can add value to the industry and also help somebody else to say, all right, if Beans do it, I can do it, and even do better than me, because I'm not trying to make it feel like it's a me story or, you know, it's all about me. It's not. And as what you read earlier, I'm also grateful for everybody who would have played a part in my life, because just as how I want to give, somebody would have given me the opportunity to say, yo, come in. Can you do this? I'm not even sure if you want to hear that story, because I started here just like you. I literally started at NCU doing audio. So I used to, the chapel. So I used to go from the chapel with the speaker box them, from there to the gym, set up all over the campus. And then one day, Mr. Richard Delapena saw me and he was like, oh, can you edit? And I was like, no, I can't edit. I don't know how to edit. That time we had tapes, and him literally just say, all right, capture the tape, bring Premiere, open up Premiere, in and out, and export it, put it on the TV station. So that was how I started. So because I would have started as simple as that, it's a no-brainer for me looking in the future to find ways to give back to everybody who wants to go further in their journey. Of course. So that would be it. I know I went on a tangent a little bit.
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's why you're here today, sir.
Yeah.
That is why you're here today.
Yes, so Mr. Beans, is it okay if I call you Mr. Beans?
No, man, Beans good, man.
Okay, so
you know,
I would like to know where the name Beans originated from.
Wow. You know, so it started, I think, grade 4. I don't know if you remember the guy name. I think his name is Tedra Wilson. So my last name is Sawyers, so they used to call me Sawyer Beans. So over time, it dropped off to Beans. Some used to call me Beans, less Father Beans, Papa Beans. Them call my mother Mommy Beans. So that's really where it came from till, they call it Beans now, which is maybe like the brand, like maybe Bolt. Maybe one day I will get there, but for now, it's Beans. So if you hear Sawyer Beans, if somebody call me Sawyer Beans, I know it's from like Portland. Okay. That's how they know me. So that's it.
And where did this love come for your profession?
The love. To be honest, so I did information science here. So my major is information science, but I don't know. I just had a knack for it. Just maybe how I tell stories, just maybe how I see things, or maybe how much of a team person I am. Because as what we would know, to do media, well, everybody's in here, and we'd realize how important everybody's role is. So I might not be the best, but then maybe I am the best at getting you as a host, get the best host. You as a camera operator to get the best camera operator. So I lost my train of thought. But what was it going to say again?
Yes, the profession, the love for the profession.
Yeah, the love. So yes. Because of that now, I said that, you know what, no, I know what I was talking about. I was talking about school. So I started in information science. When I started, that wasn't really the love. I got one in IT. So my mom was like, oh, you get one, so go do it at school, which was the best. But over time, I realized that media was just my way of expressing myself. If I have a story in my head, I would just say to, at the time, Theodore Henry was my scriptwriter, and he would just write up a script. So right throughout my journey, I would have been also blessed with having skilled persons in their area for I don't want to say me to look good, but for us to look good. So I don't know, the love is just, I don't know, we just love to tell stories. It's just a natural thing. People say, like, when I edit, it's maybe better than other editors, but I don't think so, because
it's the passion.
It's just a passion. I just love what I do. A 30-second edit can take me a day, can take me 2 days, because I don't know, sometimes I watch it and I'm like, why did it take me so long? But it's just that little thing, that little second, that little frame.
Yes. So being a past student, what advice would you give to those in the department?
Well, the advice that I would give to the students coming up now is just be yourself. Find your area. Find what you love and do it as best as possible. Don't worry about the money. And when we say don't worry about the money, it will come. It will come. Just do it. So, why I even said don't worry about the money is even from the standpoint that throughout my journey, so you guys would have listed some of the places that I would have gone to or attended. And those places would have, for me to reach those places, would have basically started because of everything that I would have done here. So you have to also work on your foundation. Just work on your foundation. If you believe that you want to be the best camera operator, do it now. Do your research. Do what you can do now. And as you go along, you'll also evolve. Because what I would have done overseas, some of those stuff, I have the foundation here, but then as I go along, to just make it. So I would say, anything you love doing, do it, and be open-minded to say, I maybe be a host today, but tomorrow I can also be the floor manager. And that doesn't mean that you are better than the floor manager or vice versa. So just put in the work and it will pay off.
Okay. You mentioned working on your foundation. Yeah. And for those in the department, I know that we shy away from doing stuff. So I would like to know what advice you would give them as it concerns putting themselves out there and working on that foundation, because as you know, it would have taken you to what was it again, Akil? Paris and all those places. So how vital is it that they should work on their foundation?
Well, I mean, as we know in building, if your foundation is weak, then how high can you go? So once you have a solid foundation, you literally can only go higher. So little backstory, me being not even being with Sportsmax. I started Sportsmax going there as a master controller. How long I spent as a master controller, persons would say, well, that's not how long. So that's not long, I won't tell you how long. But I started there as a master controller, knowing that it was just a gateway for me to go as high as I can. I started as an editor, and somebody saw me and like, oh, you edit. So if you edit, can you do EVS? And so EVS is pretty much a replay device. So what that does is all the cameras, so pretty much all these 3 cameras that we have in studio would come in and we can just replay them. So a foul happen or whatever, we can replay them. So that's what our EVS device is. And somebody has pushed me in that direction. Oh, you can do EVS. I don't know, but because of my foundation in editing, somebody can see me and say, oh, if you're a good editor, that means you can now transition to maybe a good EVS operator. And that now would have taken me to, I went to India with World Cup. I did the World Cup the other day in the States as an EVS operator. So your foundation is as good as how far you go. And once you know that, the world is out there. And every role is important. So on cricket, when I do cricket, the floor manager is just as important as the host. And persons maybe look down on certain roles which you can't do. The person who's going to bring you the tea is just as important. And then those same persons are persons that travel with the production. So if somebody has a teleprompter that's going to scroll the teleprompter for you. that person is as important. So if that person is really good as teleprompter, they can go far, they maybe go even further than you. So I just say any role that you have, do your best, and somebody is going to see you. And once they see that you're competent in an area, they will now say, a teleprompter you're thinking about, if you can teleprompt, could you be an assistant director because you may be good with the time, or a TD, and they find another role for you. So I think back to what you're saying, work on your foundation, and once you have a solid foundation, persons will see you and everything else will come.
Okay, so to wrap up on my last question, I can see the twinkling in your eyes, and I know that there's passion, Mr. Beans. I can see them clearly. Yes.
Oh my God!
Yes. And so I'd like to know if there was ever a time when you felt like, oh, this is too much. I'm not sure if this is for me. I can't go any further.
Wow. All right. So I do have those days. And I will be real. We're humans, so we'll have those days that we second guess what we do. But if we have a goal, we can only still push and try. Because if we start over now, what are we gonna do? If I start over, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna start over to something completely different, which I'm still going to have obstacles, I'm still going to have trials, and maybe more tribulations. So I'm okay with sticking this through and just ensuring that I be an impact to others and do what I can.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Beans, for sharing your remarkable journey in media. Now, Akil, do you have any takeaways?
I love the point about foundation and love and, versatility, right? Yeah. You name these things, in general as like things you can look out for or establish yourself as doing to make it into a successful career or one as successful as yours. And sometimes, like you said before, we are human beings, so the days might not, and it's not every day you're going to feel in the mood for your versatility, for your foundation, and for your love, and so on. So I truly do love that these things came before the versatility, because we have to start somewhere, right? And that is the foundation. So
what I would want to add, I know we may be pressed for time, but I just want to also say to the students who are coming up to also be intentional with what you want to do. And that is very important. And I will say this in 30 seconds. Hopefully the producer can give me 30 seconds. But so as I said, my major is information science, but Richard and I, we were intentional in the sense that we wanted to go to phase 3, because we know that at the moment, phase 3, it's still industry leader. So because I didn't have a bachelor in Moscow, and I have a minor, is a minor. So I was like, if I go to phase 3, then that now is another path that will open up a whole new world for us. So if I'm leaving anything with you also, is say, just be intentional with what you're doing and where you want to go.
Of course.
Producer, is that 30 seconds?
All right, thank you very much for sharing your remarkable story. And I hope every student listening, not just students, people in general, because the advice is, universal in most cases. So thank you again. And thank you for having us, and enjoy your day.
So you've heard from Jason Sawyers, and now we'll be taking a short break.
We're almost there! Week of Excellence 2025 from April 5 to 9 and 13 is bound to leave you feeling full and satisfied. April 5 is an all-day affair. We begin with our church service where MICAL, yes, Michael Forsyth from The Drive on NCU FM, will leave a word for your soul. Then it's all about letting our hair down at our social We will then move towards expanding our borders with Community Convo with a town hall meeting on April 6 at 3 p.m. at the Albion Primary School as experts tackle neurodivergence from stigma to strength, break the stigma and change the narrative. For Global Connections, we touch base with the Caribbean as we talk to DCS graduates who've been using their skills to serve in different capacities. At Showcase My DCS, come watch DCS students embark on different challenges geared at showcasing our skills and talents. Then, it's Symposium and Affirmation Day! For our symposium, the breakout sessions will see Audrey Williams from the JPS for Public Relations and Kalila Reynolds from Money Media Limited for Journalism. For TV, it will be the Social House creator Tara Playfair Scott, and for radio, Vaughn Davis from the JIS. So yes, hear from esteemed professionals, then come celebrate and affirm our own. And to close out the week, on Sunday, April 13, it's our Lignum Vitae Film Showcase at the NCU Gymnatorium. It's an event where we see some amazing work from university students on show. Don't miss it! Week of Excellence 2025, April 5 to 9 and 13. Sponsored by Manchester Cooperative Union, Independence Pharmacy, Bright Diamond Funeral Services, Mandeville Spa and Wellness Resort, Midland Cesspool Services, Three Angels Pharmacy, Manchester Cesspool Services, SKD Shipping, and more.
Them can't pass you without consent. Come out and be proud 'cause we magnificent. All of DCS full of talent.
Yes. So, Miss Sims, or Mrs. Sims, the term Caribbean media, well, Caribbean woman, where did that come from?
I mean, because that's who I am. I mean, I think once you're born in a Caribbean island, you just see yourself as just Caribbean. I love sun, and sea, and then so that it only makes sense. It only makes sense to me, that I'm definitely a Caribbean woman inside and out.
Ms. Sims, when you think about the youth and your relationship with them and how it has taken you so far in your career, as a professional like this, what would you say is your favorite part of it? I know all of us, well, not all of us, but a lot of us love our young people, and I would like to know where you stand and where that love came from and so on.
To tell you the truth, I didn't know that I had this love for the youth. I knew that I liked people, and at NCU, a lot of times there were persons who would always find me to come and get advice, or they would just tell me that there's just something about me that they just like hearing me speak to them. And so I was quite unaware that the seeds of this love was being planted from at NCU, but having left now, I mean, youth are, well, I like being young. I like laughing. I like looking young. I like acting young. So it only makes sense to just surround myself with youth. And so the love comes from the fact that I have a youthful mind. And then I think that there's so much that we need to share with our young people so that they can see that, hey, if she can, or if he can, if a Mr. Beans can, then so can I.
And, going on in your career for so long, do you have, let's say, a favorite story with one of these youngsters? Someone that you may have facilitated a redemption for or something as that?
Young, I mean, there's so many things going through my mind. In terms of redemption, there was one time, oh my goodness, there's so many stories that's just going through. I'll speak to one that whilst I was at NCU, I received a phone call from this Facebook message from this young lady whilst I was there. We'd never spoken on campus. We would see each other, but we never spoke. And her email was really just telling me that she sees me. She doesn't know why she feels the need to reach out to me, but there is something in me that she feels that she needs to speak to. And basically, she wanted to meet. We met, and she actually had suicidal thoughts. And so she thought that she was going to end her life, but reached out to me just to share her thoughts. And the different stories that I could share about my interactions with the youth, they are in so many different categories, whether it is they just want to talk about the fact that they like the way that I dress, or they want to find out so much more about me. Why is it that I seem so real and so down to earth? Or they just want to be around NTK. And so I'm thankful for whatever that thing is. I'm just really grateful for it, because now I'm seeing for that gift that God has given.
Okay. So, Ms. Sims, I'd like to know how DCS and NCU, the skills, have helped you in your workplace.
Wow. So we all know that we just came through a pandemic. And in 2020, my husband's a pastor. And in 2020, the island that we were on, we had a church service on Zoom that first week that the pandemic arrived to the Bahamas. COVID arrived. And I noticed that we didn't have anything for the children. And so I said, you know what? And this was my word. I'll just throw a program together for the local kids on the island that I'm on. And I did that. And at the end of the Sabbath, I started getting phone calls and text messages from persons saying that, oh, they appreciated what I did for them. And I was really confused, because these calls were coming from persons outside of our district, outside of the country. And I was like, I don't know what you all are talking about. And they were like, the Sabbath school program that you did for us. I'm like, I didn't do a Sabbath school program for anybody. I did it for our local church. And having done that, I really...
Yes, Michael Forsyth from The Drive on NCU FM will leave a word for your soul. Then it's all about letting our hair down at our social. We will then move towards expanding our borders with Community Convo, with a town hall meeting on April 6 at 3 p.m. at the Albion Primary School, as experts tackle neurodivergence from stigma to strength, break the stigma and change the narrative. For Global Connections, we touch base with the Caribbean as we talk to DCS graduates who've been using their skills to serve in different capacities. At Showcase My DCS, come watch DCS students embark on different challenges geared at showcasing our skills and talents. Then, it's Symposium and Affirmation Day. For our symposium, the breakout sessions will see Audrey Williams from the JPS for Public Relations and Kalila Reynolds from Money Media Limited for Journalism. For TV, it will be the Social House creator Tara Playfair Scott, and for radio, Vaughn Davis from the JIS. So yes, hear from esteemed professionals, then come celebrate and affirm our own. And to close out the week, on Sunday, April 13, it's our Lignum Vitae Film Showcase at the NCU Gymnatorium. It's an event where we see some amazing work from university students on show. Don't miss it. Week of Excellence 2025, April 5 to 9 and 13. Sponsored by Manchester Cooperative Union, Bright Diamond Funeral Services, Mandeville Spa and Wellness Resort, Midland Cesspool Services, Three Angels Pharmacy, Manchester Cesspool Services, SKD Shipping, and more.
Them can't pass you without consent. Come out and be proud 'cause you're magnificent.
No, I understand that our audio was out a while ago. However, we spoke with Kenisha Sims and her journey through media. And Akil, who do we have next?
Our next presenter joins us from French Guinea. Kenise Lawson has been using her communication skills in and out of the classroom in an extraordinary way. She has created an unforgettable legacy during her years in media, even before graduating in 2010. She was one of the outstanding members of the NCU Media Group. She is one of the first hosts of Dia and Retro Sunday. She switched hats a few years ago and is now working as a middle school and high school English teacher in French Guyana. She is having some technical issues here and there, so when she is back, we will press her for more information on her career and so on.
But Akil, have you been enjoying the presentation so far?
Oh, of course. We've had so many intelligent and inspiring individuals going over our our career choices and our inspirations and so on and so forth. And I feel like, I don't have a favorite, but, all of us can definitely gain something from each person and, learn.
Definitely, I have to agree. It's my understanding, however, that our presenter is ready.
Welcome, Kedis Lawson. Welcome to Global Connections. Definitely something we'd want to examine and look into.
Sounds very, very insightful.
Very insightful.
Yes.
Very, very, very insightful.
Yes, but from what she's mentioned, she sounds like an NCU baby.
She did say she inherited one.
Yes.
So I do think that, when you make a statement like that, inherited a baby, it's very clear that her experience is extremely important to her and has definitely shaped the way that she has gone about her career in and out of classrooms and other media entities. It's inspiring, it's beautiful.
She mentioned, Akil, that she did a lot of odd jobs. So I have to ask, have you done any odd jobs in DCS?
Of course, it's part of the process. You enroll in certain classes, you have to take up a camera, you have to take up an audio device, you have to work around teleprompters and computers and all these other things. It really is a part of the process, and it's just very, very, very universal. But regarding the technical difficulties, we're going to hit the break. So we'll see you soon.
We're almost there! Week of Excellence 2025 from April 5 to 9 and 13 is bound to leave you feeling full and satisfied. April 5 is an all-day affair. We begin with our church service where MICAL, yes, Michael Forsyth from The Drive on NCU FM, will leave a word for your soul. Then, it's all about letting our hair down at our social. We will then move towards expanding our borders with Community Convo with a town hall meeting on April 6 at 3 p.m. at the Albion Primary School as experts tackle neurodivergence from stigma to strength, break the stigma and change the narrative. For Global Connections, we touch base with the Caribbean as we talk to DCS graduates who've been using their skills to serve in different capacities. At Showcase My DCS, come watch DCS students embark on different challenges geared at showcasing our skills and talents. Then, it's Symposium and Affirmation Day. For our symposium, the breakout sessions will see Audrey Williams from the JPS for Public Relations and Kalila Reynolds from Money Media Limited for Journalism. For TV, it will be the Social House creator Tara Playfair Scott, and for radio, Vaughn Davis from the JIS. So yes, hear from esteemed professionals, then come celebrate and affirm our own. And to close out the week, on Sunday, April 13, it's our Lignum Vitae Film Showcase at the NCU Gymnatorium. It's an event where we see some amazing work from university students on show. Don't miss it! Week of Excellence 2025, April 5 to 9 and 13. Sponsored by Manchester Cooperative Union, Independence Pharmacy, Bright Diamond Funeral Services, Mandeville Spa and Wellness Resort, Midland Cesspool Services, Three Angels Pharmacy, Manchester Cesspool Services, SKD Shipping, and more.
Them can't pass you without consent. Come out and be proud 'cause we magnificent. All of these.
So nice we had to do it twice. It's the Lignum Vitae Film Showcase 2.0. April 13 at 5 p.m. we gather at the NCU Gymnatorium to see amazing short films, silent films, mini documentaries, PSAs, commercials and trailers as university students get their time to shine. And for those hoping to be a part of the showcase, submit your films now until March 21 at 5 p.m. Using file sharing sites, submit your films to LVFS at ncu.edu.jm and copybrian.cuff at ncu.edu.jm. It's the Lignum Vitae Film Showcase 2.0, April 13 at 5 p.m. at the NCU Gymnatorium in Mandeville. Don't miss it.
having a deeply riveting conversation with Miss Lawson. My question was, before we got cut off for a second, was stepping away from the nostalgia, what has been the biggest experience coming from your time in French Guiana?
My biggest experience, well, I've had, well, many experiences, many positive experiences, and I think every experience I have is linked in some way, shape, or form to my experience in media. I had no idea that my media experience would impact my life as a teacher, would impact me in the classroom. I found myself at the head of a lot of projects. For example, clubs. Having clubs in the school system is not it's a foreign concept in the French school system. And so at my school, I implemented clubs and societies, a new element for the students and for my colleagues as well. And I found myself at the helm of a web radio club. Who would have thought? And so we were doing radio programs, interviewing colleagues, trying to come up with new radio ideas. And I was like, what am I doing here? How did I end up in media in another country, in a classroom setting? And so that was probably one of my biggest experiences, being able to use my studies, use my experience in media in the classroom. I've had lots of other experiences where I've had to organize big events for my school or end of year shows, and everybody looks to me. What is the plan for this year? Do we have an end of year concert? I'm like, yes. You have to give my brain some time. I need to do some brainstorming. And so even in a classroom setting, I still find myself doing these tasks linked to media in some way, shape, or form. I'm either the floor manager, I'm either coordinating the event, I'm writing. I think back in the day when I used to do French, I was used to doing vocabulary and all of that I learned from the ensemble of teachers that I came across at DCS, as pronunciation and diction. Randika Gale was my teacher. I traveled to French Guiana with my textbook. I hope it's not blurry. The Articulate Voice. And it has become a tool, a staple for me in the classroom as an English teacher. Something as simple as how you pronounce the TH sound, for example. Who would have thought I would have needed this textbook? Who would have thought it would have been useful years down the line? And all of these things keep on coming back. So I think every single thing I learned, whether it was doing documentaries or editing content or coming up with ideas for content, all of these things I use today as a teacher in the classroom. Something as simple as how to write a news story. I remember last week I had a conversation with my principal and she said, you talk like a journalist. And I said, I have to get straight to the point. I don't have the time to go through the entire document. I need to get straight to the point. And that comes from learning how to write a lead, for example, for a news story. As an English teacher, I have to be on my toes. People think, oh, English is just about grammar, pronunciation, vocabulary, but there is a lot more that goes into it. There is the cultural aspect. And so I still find myself clinging to habits I had as a journalist, where I have to be on my toes. What is going on in the US? The US elections, I have to do that with my students. Queen Elizabeth has died. We have to cover that. 9/11, we have to do something on that. So I'm still following news and current affairs. I'm still keeping up with what's going on in the world around me. And I'm still using that in the classroom. And still using it I'm still using it as though I'm writing scripts for news stories, but I'm actually writing content for my students.
Wow, that was definitely. I hope we had a notebook. No, this is encouraged because I really hope our listeners, had a notebook, whether in their mind or in a physical sense. When you have such a veteran coming to them in 2010 and going on further and further. So it is appreciated that your insight, comes through just like this. But we are, even though I do think that the students would
CVM, M1 Productions, Sora Media and other production companies. He's directed notable events like the Edward Siaga, Issa Boys and Girls Athletic Champs, Digital Digicel Grand Prix, Racers Grand Digicel Grand Prix, Racers Grand Prix, Reggae Sumfest, and numerous sporting events across the Seventh-day Adventist Church. In 2023, he started working as a producer for football giants CONCACAF. Yes. Mr. Forsyth, welcome to Global Connections.
Thank you for having me.
And so off the bat, my first question has to be, do you know a foreign language? Because I saw you laughing over here.
So when she said it, first of all, no. I am supposed to. I don't remember it. Do I know it? I know several languages. Can I speak them? No.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great. But tell me about your experience here at NCU at DCS, and what were your takeaways that you would say are important to, or rather life lessons that you've learned?
Here at DCS, so let me just in general speak about it from an NCU perspective. I think one of the biggest mistakes I made as a student was stopping to work. So I stopped school to work. I originally took 8 years to finish because I spent about 4 of it working. I just said this for all the students. It is easy to say that you'll come back. It's hard to come back because once you start working, you've started to finance yourself. It then means that once you start to come back to school, you start thinking about how is it that I'm going to be financing school, financing myself. So it's hard to come back. I started in 2008. I should have finished in 2012. Ended up finishing in 2016. But from a student perspective, I would say that the best thing to do is to try to get your experience here. Whether it's working at the lab as a lab tech, because you get the opportunity to set up equipment, you get the opportunity to set up a studio for different classes. Try to get a job here at the media group, because I started here at the media group in 2010. I was trying from I started, but I eventually got in at 2010, and I started as a cable puller. I started as a cable puller for the jib, cable puller for the handle. I remember I started here officially June 2010, and my first big event was graduation. And I was running up and down with Londe at the time on hand. I must say that Londe actually said that it was the first he has ever been doing handheld and felt like he was not on cable. Because as soon as he needed to move, I was moving with him. How much you put in, what you want to get out of it. Because to do this, you have to love it. To do this, there has to be a passion. If there's no passion, then what's the purpose? So you have to know your reason. You have to know what it is that you want to do. As I said before, try to get into the space, try to learn. There are several different positions. The DCS office has a poster, I remember, that shares all the jobs that you can get from just a communication degree. It's still there. So there are several things, and I think there are over 50 jobs that can be done. So once you find your passion, it's about trying to dip your toe into every single part of it to understand what it is that you want to do, understand what it is that you like. Because for me, I did master control as well. I did master control for 2 years. While doing editing, while doing camera work, while doing some level of producing. As Jason said, you're capturing the tapes, the DV cam tapes, and you're putting them in Premiere, you're editing, you're logging the tapes and all of that. So it's how is it that you can get an experience of everything and make it worth your while. For me, well, the good thing about DCS is that DCS gives you the opportunity, even though you're doing television, you might be doing radio, you might be doing journalism, you get to get an experience of every single part of it. And then from there, you can decide what it is that you want to do. I don't like to write. I don't like to...
Technology wouldn't be that new, wouldn't be that old, or so on and so forth. What separates you from these people who are who have been here for so long?
Passion. Straight up that I don't want to use the word reputation, but you maintain low-grade production, then you will always be the top of the line. The only thing that really affects whether or not I call it after that point is the price, depending on the budget of the event. Because if I have a budget for, let's say, 100 grand, and you're charging me 60, I can't, But at the end of the day, if I value your work, then I probably won't do a production for 100. I'll probably push it to try to get it for higher so that I can hire who I want. What I would say, value yourself. In this industry, people don't value you. One thing you have to remember is that you have to be the one to value yourself. And how you value yourself is what determines, what you settle for. Because you also have the opportunity to negotiate your rates. Opportunity in negotiating to ensure that, you don't settle for something that you're not happy for. At the end of the day, it's not just about meeting your needs, but it's also putting down something for a rainy day. If you're looking to be a freelancer, just know that you won't be working every day, but ensure that you have a rainy day money, because sometimes you might not be working for a week, you might not be working for 2 weeks, you might not be working for a month. You might get 1 call for the month, you might get 12 calls for the month, you might get 16 calls for the month, and then another month, you don't get any calls. So a lot of this, and this is going in... No.
We continue to strive.